Hey everybody, welcome to Do You Believe on ParanormalZoneTV. I want to thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I'm so glad to be back. We got a great show tonight though. First of all, for those who may not be subscribed to the channel, if you would do so, I'd appreciate it. And don't forget to give the show a like because you're going to love the show. My guest tonight is Barry Strohm. I am so excited to have him back on the show. Barry Strohm was born near Hershey, Pennsylvania, attended Lehigh University, where he obtained a degree in business management, and later became a licensed civil engineer. After spending a career in the construction and aggregate industry, he realized that he possessed the ability to communicate with the spirit world. After publishing his first book, Haunting and the History of the Battle of Gettysburg in 2011, he began to write books based on information channeled from the spirits on the other side of the life veil. Spirits Speak of the Universe is the author's 5th published book. And this is his book. And actually, Barry has written 5 books, and here they are. Okay, so with that, let's welcome Barry. Hi, Barry. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Oh, God, it's my pleasure. I'm going to have you back next year, too. Like I was talking with you, there's some other shows I'm really excited to air with you as well. Now, Barry, your latest book, and I have it right here. I started reading it. You guys, fabulous, fabulous book. Very, very interesting what Barry does. Barry is a spirit channeler, and he channels the board and speaks to spirits to write his book. So tell us a little bit about that, Barry.
Well, we were introduced to board channeling, I guess, 8-9 years ago now, and we found out that it's a very, very efficient way to speak to the other side, and we have had some absolutely amazing luck. And once I learned that we could do it, my wife and I do it together. And once I learned that we could do this thing, started writing books based on the information. The first book I wrote based on channeling was called Afterlife, What Really Happens on the Other Side. And in that book, the spirits tell me what it is like over there, what heaven's like, what spirits can do on the other side. And we went into a whole lot of different subjects. We even have a chapter in that book where we channeled with Ulysses Grant, which is a very interesting story. It was just, we kind of became obsessed with it once we found out what we could do. And after about 700-800 hours on the channeling board, I have written 5 books that are out, and my 6th book is at the publisher, and it will be out in the springtime. So we've gathered an awful lot of information. A lot of it you need to have a very, very open mind, but I'm just simply passing on the messages. And every session that Connie and I do, we do a video and audio of it. So I have the record of every word that I put into print. I can go back into my files, pull the videos, and show you where they gave us the information. So we try to be as specific and as scientific as you can be in situations like that.
And the information on these books were channeled.
Absolutely, yes. And what I do is I use the actual channeled words from the spirit guides or the spirits that we're communicating with, and the books lay them out, and you will see the exact quotes that we receive from them. I don't deviate from their messages. I just write down their exact words.
Mm-hmm. And who are you channeling?
Well, we have a long, long history of who we channel. This 5th book in particular is based on us channeling with the spirit of an alien. My 3rd book was called Aliens Among Us, Exploring Past and Present, and that book was also based on channeling with my alien friend Moo, and he told us a whole bunch of stuff about the alien presence around us. In Aliens Among Us, we talked about the Nazca lines in Peru. He told us what they stood for. We went into ancient cultures, talked a lot about the current situation with aliens on Earth, how they absolutely mean us no harm. And then as a progression, I wound up writing the Spirit Speak of the Universe, where we basically talk about the alien presence now. We discuss what it's going to be in the future and get into a whole bunch of other really, really interesting subjects.
I have a picture. I'm showing an image of that board. Now that board is patented. You have a patent on that board?
The friends that introduced me to it do. It's a special design, and we actually let the spirit guides design the board. It consists of letters and numbers in a circle on the outside, and the board is covered with glass, and we use a glass instead of a planchette, and we lubricate the board with lemon oil, and my wife will get on one side, put her fingers on the glass, I put them on the other, and it will literally fly around and spell out words. As I progress now, I have the ability to hear the messages in my head as I'm receiving it. So when you watch this board channel now, I basically just let the board go to the first letter and use it as a confirmation of what I'm hearing in my head. We did a channeling session last night, and we did it for about 40 minutes, and we got about 2,500 typewritten words in the transcript for it. So we're moving along pretty fast with our messages now.
So this particular book, there's a lot of information in this book. Do you want to start talking about this book? You gave me some notes, which I appreciate. And
sure.
You said that the channeling board dates back thousands of years.
Yeah, it's not a new thing. The ancient Chinese used it thousands of years ago. Native Americans even had a type of channeling board. What most people are familiar with is the Ouija board that came out around the 1900s. A lot of false information has been given on that. A lot of the horror movies and everything put a stigma on the use of board channeling. What has happened with us is the spirits have actually given us a prayer of protection that we use on the board, and we always start every session with that prayer, and 700-800 hours, and we've never had a problem with it. It's we've been able to channel with some of the highest of spirits. When I wrote my conspiracy book, it was called Spirits Speak of Conspiracies and Mysteries, where we did 27 different mysteries, where we channeled the actual spirits that lived the mysteries. We channeled Jack Kennedy. He told us all about his assassination, told us who pulled the trigger, who was behind it, a lot of background information, and all the information that he gave to me, I could go in and historically find the names in conspiracy theories, or a lot of the information that he gave actually came true after we did the session. For instance, he told us that E. Howard Hunt was involved with the assassination, and if you go online, you will see that Howard Hunt actually did a deathbed confession that he was involved with it. So there's a lot of things in the conspiracy book that have been borne out by the time since I wrote it. As I say, we did 27 different conspiracies. We talked with Butch Cassidy for it, Billy the Kid, King Richard III. We actually channeled with him, and he wanted to speak to us because he wanted everyone to know that he was not responsible for killing his nephews. And very, very interesting, different type of book. But it addresses mysteries and conspiracies in a far different way than anybody else has addressed it.
Wow, that's crazy. Now, you said that you channel Mu when you write your alien books. And so
yes.
On this book, you also had channeled Mu for this book.
Yeah. When we were working on the conspiracy book, I started asking questions of the guides about aliens. So one night, I asked a question, and they said, next week we are going to introduce you to a guide that will answer all of your questions, because he is one. And I said, is one what? They said, he was an alien in his past life. So the next time we get on the board, in comes this spirit energy named Mu, and he proceeds to tell us about himself. He said he was a blue alien. In life, he stood about 9.5 feet. came from a planet named Robe that is on the far wing of our Milky Way. He died at the age of 942 of our years. Told us all about his planet. Told us that on his planet they worship the same God that we worship here on our planet. And he even described a celebration that they have, because on his planet 4,000 years ago, the Son of God was sent to them, and they called him the Wise One. And they have a celebration very similar to our Christmas, where we celebrate the birth of Christ. And he started giving me all this incredible information. So I started making up a lot of questions for him, and we wound up writing 2 books out of it.
Oh my God. Did you ever ask Moo why we don't live that long?
He told us that humans are one of the frailest species in the galaxy. He never really went into the reason why we don't live much longer, but the way things are going, I think it's a good thing we don't live much longer. We can't screw that much more up.
Would there ever, so from what I understand, our DNA has changed. And I was told by someone that years, way back, that humans did live to about 200 years of age, and then our DNA got changed. Do you know anything about that?
I never heard anything about that. What we have told, we've done a lot of investigation into biblical stories, and every time all of the longevity stories in the Bible of living 800-900 years are incorrect. So they did not. We are told that they did not live longer lifetimes.
Mm-hmm. Do aliens live that long today? I mean,
some do.
They do.
They all have different lifetimes. One thing that I've done in the Spirit Speak of the Universe is go into the different alien types. We address a lot of the common ones that people are familiar with: Palladians, Greys, many different types. And just as I was thinking that I understood how many alien types were around, I started working on a chapter, which is in the book as well, on different types of alien vehicles. And Moo told me that they have vehicles from the size, over 200 types, and they have vehicles from the size of a baseball to, hold your seatbelt, one the size of the United States.
A vehicle?
Yes. It's basically their base vehicle. And 2 years ago when we wrote the chapter, they had it hidden behind the planet Saturn. So then, once I tried to get over the shock of the size he was talking about, so I asked him, well, Moo, how many different types of extraterrestrials would be on that size vehicle? And he told me in excess of 250 different types.
Do they all get along then?
Yes. Yep.
They all get along?
Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
If they didn't, they would have annihilated each other.
Oh, okay.
Keep in mind this fact. He tells us that they have been visiting our planet since the time of the dinosaurs. So that's 65 million years ago. So the extraterrestrials on other planets have been evolving for hundreds of millions of years. And in that time, they have developed these incredible technologies. So they learned long ago that with these incredible technologies, their ability at self-destruction was infinite. So they decided at an early time that it's much better to cooperate and get along than to kill everybody and have nothing left. So there's a governing committee out there that controls all the alien life in our galaxy. I first addressed that in my conspiracy book, and then we elaborated on it here in the universe book. But no, the visitation to Earth is actually very well controlled. They're trying to preserve our evolution, and if you want to come here, they got very strict rules. The rules have changed through the years. For instance, on abductions, they've changed many of the rules, where it used to be that they could do more intensive testing on individuals. They don't do a lot of what they used to do. In fact, Mu tells us that when they abduct somebody and they have a physical problem, quite often they will heal that problem for the individual while they have them. My wife has been abducted, and we know the details of her abduction. So it actually takes place, and we can tell you pretty much about it. And we have a chapter pretty much devoted to abductions in the Universe book.
Now, what about these humans that have been taken by aliens and had horrible, horrible experiments done on them?
Well, they had experiments, but in a lot of instances, those experiments were probably healing procedures for them. In most cases, the individual doesn't remember being abducted. He says in about 10% of the time, the individuals realize it and understand and feel what is going on around them.
Now, what about these humans that have been taken by aliens and they go into a hypnotic state and they're screaming and carrying on? What is that all about? Isn't that from the experiences that they had from the aliens?
Well, yeah, it is so foreign. The shapes of these aliens are very, very different from anything anybody's expecting. I'll give you probably the most radical example. In my Aliens Among Us book, we worked on the Nazca lines in Peru. And for anybody, those are these huge forms in the earth that exist down there, many of them as much as a mile in size. And one of the most famous of the shapes in the Nazca lines is that of a spider. And I asked him, I said, what is the significance of the spider? And he said that was one of the alien types that were helping the people. And they did that so that they would show the alien type how much they appreciated them. And I said, well, how tall do these spider people stand? And he said between 6 and 7 feet. So you can imagine if you woke up in a spaceship and you saw a 7-foot spider alongside of you, it would be quite dramatic.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, now you also mentioned that shapeshifters are real.
Oh, yeah. They are very real. As a matter of fact, a shapeshifter played a big part in my wife's abduction. About 10 years, it's about 20 years ago now, we used to live down in Florida. And one day she dropped me off at the Fort Lauderdale airport. And as she's driving up I-95, all of a sudden she realizes that she's about 20 miles and 3 exits north of what she remembers. She couldn't have fallen asleep on I-95 in Florida or she'd been dead. We took her to the doctor, they did tests. The only thing he said, well, she must have fallen asleep. No, that car went 20 miles without her knowing she was in the car. So anyway, once we got friendly with Mu and we started talking about the abductions, we asked him, we said, what happened when Connie what happened to Connie? He said, oh, she was abducted. Okay. I said, well, how did they do it? And Mu was always a bit of a smart ass, so he comes back and he says, it's very easy when you know how. So I said, okay, how'd they do it? What they did is they took Connie, took her to the ship, and transferred and put a shapeshifter in the car. And this shapeshifter drove the car for 20 miles while they had Connie up in the ship, put her back, chain places with the shapeshifter, push the button and bring her back conscious. And she's missed about 20 miles of the drive. But shapeshifters are very real, just the same as we have Palladians around us. There are Palladians that you can't recognize. Many of the people don't even realize that they are. I was actually introduced to a person that the guides told me was a Palladian. So it's very real, the alien present, and it's not what people think it is.
What about these reptilian aliens?
They're very real, but they're friendly. None of the aliens that are allowed to come to Earth mean us any harm. I have actually seen a reptilian in person. I can tell you that real quick story. A couple of years ago, we were over in the apartment, and we sleep with night lights on, so it's fairly bright in the room at night. because I have a black cat. I don't want to kill myself tripping over my cat. So I wake up in the middle of the night, and I sit up and I look over, and I'm aware of this big form standing by the side of the bed looking down at Connie. And I thought, I must be dreaming this. I make sure I'm awake, and I look, and I can see it's standing probably 6-7 foot tall, and it's got a short reptilian nose, like a very short snout alligator, but a rounded nose. So I'm looking at it, and he turns his head and looks squarely at me and smiles, and I can see his teeth. And then he knocks me out, and I'm sound asleep for the rest of it. So I wake up the next morning, and I'm thinking, now, did I dream this thing? What took place? So I told Connie, I said, Connie, I think I saw an alien, so let's not rule out the possibility that you may have gone for another trip last night. So I wanted to find out what was going on. Well, the people that introduced me to board channeling live out in Salt Lake City. So we got them on Skype. Now, bear in mind, they have the channeling board out in Salt Lake. I'm on Skype in Pennsylvania with Connie, and they have absolutely zero idea what's taking place. So I asked for Moo's presence to come in for them out there, and Moo checks in. So I said, Moo, did I see a real alien last night? And on the board out in Salt Lake City, they get the message, yes, and did you see him smile at you? They had no idea what was going on.
Okay, what about, you covered the Galactic Committee you talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Alien types are governed by a central committee. Every intelligent planet has representatives. Moo tells us that we actually have 2 people from our planet that represent Earth with the committee. Up until 1943, we did not have a formal agreement. But apparently in 1943, General Eisenhower at the time negotiated a treaty with them. They are allowed to study us, and in return, we keep their presence a secret. But the committee controls everything. They control who comes here to visit. They control what takes place on the other planets. And it's just simply a governing situation, and everybody follows the rules, unlike here on Earth.
So why doesn't the government talk about this?
Well, the people aren't ready to learn about alien presence. They tried it in 1938 when Orson Welles did the War of the Worlds radio show. People were so afraid they were jumping off rooftops. So the governing bodies are afraid that an alien presence is going to just disrupt so many people and cause so much havoc that they've wanted to keep it a secret. Now, we are told that we're getting very close to disclosure. Moo tells us that probably before 2020, we're going to have disclosure of alien life. And I have a chapter in the Universe book about what is happening down in Antarctica. And yet the activity down there is probably going to generate disclosure. But there's so much going on, and with the internet and with all the people with cameras everywhere, more and more reports are coming out. So we're reaching a point that they can't keep it a secret much longer.
All right, so what are the mysteries of the Antarctica? Can you talk about it?
There's been a long time extraterrestrial base down there. And in my Universe book, I actually give you the coordinates that you can go on to Google Earth, put the coordinates in, and see an entrance to an underground facility. We ran into it a couple years ago now. If you remember, towards the end of the Obama administration, Secretary of State Kerry rushed down to Antarctica. Well, he wasn't down there to do snow angels. He was down there to talk to them and to try to get some things ironed out. Because we uncovered them and things got nasty for a while, and it looked like there was going to be a real problem. But anyway, what's taking place? I go in. I talk about a lot of things. There's a big prehistoric dig going on down there, where they've actually uncovered Earth types over 7 foot tall. They are not aliens, but they were actually a type of human. So a ton of stuff going on in Antarctica, and I actually devoted a whole chapter to it in this universe book.
Wow. All right. Now, what about, let's see, the nature of the universe?
Well, nobody really truly understands just how huge the universe is. I know I really didn't think about it. We live in the Milky Way galaxy. Now, if you took a grain of sand for every sun in the Milky Way, there would be enough sand to fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. That's how many suns there are just in our galaxy. And there are billions of galaxies in the universe, many of which we've not even come close to seeing at this point. So if you think about it in terms of the grains of sand, the stars that are in our universe equate roughly to every grain of sand on Earth. I mean, it's overwhelming. There's absolutely nobody can comprehend just how big it is. And for the extraterrestrials to move around like they do, they have to have very advanced technology. Now, our current technology, it took us 35 years for Voyager 1 to reach interstellar space, and that's where the sun no longer has gravitational effect. Now, using our technology, Voyager 1 would have to travel 40,000 years just to reach the nearest star in our Milky Way. I mean, that's huge. So when you think about the size of everything, the odds of intelligent life out there are just absolutely overwhelming.
So these aliens are traveling back and forth?
Oh, yeah. I asked Moo how long it took him to get from his planet on the far side of the Milky Way to Earth, and he told us about 2 days. So he can travel that vast distance in the same time it takes for me to drive home in Salt Lake City. So yeah, they're a little more advanced than we are, and that's why I tell everybody that they absolutely mean us no harm. If aliens wanted to harm us, they could snap their fingers and we would be totally gone with the technologies they have. So I mean, they have been helping us to evolve.
Well, with all like the Phoenix Lights and other sightings like that, why did they show themselves and then they take off? What's the purpose of that?
Well, I'll give you an example. Are you familiar with the Lights Over Washington book? I think it was 48. They saw these lights over Washington, and they couldn't explain them. And what was actually happening was that the aliens came into D.C. and Eisenhower went for a ride in one of them. And that book was written about the alien presence in 48. They show themselves. They have the ability to go stealth. They can let the light pass through the molecules of their ships so that we can't see them. And, sometimes they show us, sometimes they don't. They are showing themselves more and more lately. A lot of the pictures that are showing up are actually real. In my books, I show photographs that I took one night on the battlefield. I was followed by an alien drone for about half an hour out there. And I had 3 different cameras, and I took 40 frames of this thing on 3 different cameras. And I have those pictures in, and it looks just like a big old light strip. Yeah. But when you look at that picture, I guarantee you that you are looking absolutely at some type of an alien vehicle.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so if they are friendly and they're here to help us, can they help us build a spaceship or a craft like the aliens have now?
Of course, they helped us build the atomic bomb. they've shown us our stealth technology, a basic form of it. That's what we try to use. They've helped us with a lot of things. But there's the simple act of having a spaceship. We have a lot of technology to catch up on. And we're moving very rapidly towards it. I mean, that's part of the reason why disclosure is coming, because we are traveling very rapidly. For humans to exist long term, there has to be a time that we learn to travel the stars. Because every planet dies. Suns burn out, and that's the end of life in their solar systems. And one day that's going to happen to Earth. It happens to every planet. And the goal is that humans will be able to travel the stars and thus preserve the longevity of the human race. They tell us that the planet the Greys came from has been destroyed naturally, and that the Greys actually have no home planet anymore.
Oh, so where are they existing?
They exist on different planets where, they have different colonies. They found planets that were not populated. They populate those planets. But there are many, many different places, and there's a lot of Greys here on Earth.
What about Mars?
There's no current colonization of Mars. There has been in the past, but at the present there isn't.
What about the moon?
Our moon is actually hollow, and on the backside of the moon there is an entrance. And when our astronauts went up and circled the moon, when they came out from the back of the moon, they made the cryptic statement on the radio that Santa Claus really does exist. Well, Santa Claus was the code word for aliens, and when they were on the backside of the moon, they actually saw them.
Oh, really? Wow. So, our space program that we have, are they moving in the wrong direction?
Well, the stupid assumption that they're making is that they're looking for planets that are just like Earth to support life. The planets that support life are nothing like Earth. For instance, on Mu's planet, they breathe nitrogen. So it's not like you have to have the same thing. You have to have some type of a fluid, some type of a gas, but different types of forms operate differently and live in much different environments. Some of them live in environments we cannot even comprehend.
Barry, a lot of people believe, and it's been said, that we never really actually went to the moon. They never really landed on the moon.
Well, we did, but the first landing they tell us was faked.
It was? Why?
I asked Moon, I said, why'd they do it? And he said, we could never figure out why they did it either. I guess they were afraid that it would go wrong.
Oh, that's interesting. Wow.
Yeah, that's what we're told. That's what I write about in the books.
Okay. Are any of these aliens in touch with the White House now?
Yes. Yes, they are in communication with our government. They've been in communication with every government. I asked Moo, I said, what was our first president that actually communicated with extraterrestrials? And he said that they have been communicating with us since our 10th president. So there have been 35 presidents that have communicated with alien life.
And still...
Or aware of it.
So the Clintons, Obama, what about Trump?
Yeah, every one of them, they're all aware of it. Actually, they were afraid. They were all very, very nervous that Trump was going to disclose the stuff going down in Antarctica.
Well, he was going to release some information, and then he stopped it.
But yeah, they talked him out of it. They explained the agreement and that he wasn't supposed to do it, so he conformed to it.
Wow. Okay, what about the reincarnation? Let's.
Oh no, there's a big subject.
Yeah, go ahead and talk about reincarnation.
Okay. We are told that the energy of the soul has basically been around since creation. So people pass over and they come back in other lifetimes. The spirits actually tell us that they consider death the beginning of a new cycle. Humans think of death as the end of a cycle. Spirits think of it as the beginning because that is going to launch a new life plan, a new birth, and a new opportunity for that soul to advance. Souls have been around for millions or billions of years. So what you have to think about, where was that soul energy before humans walked the earth? Humans have only been here for 250,000, give or take a couple years. So prior to that time, where was that soul energy? Where was your soul energy? Well, the answer is you lived on other planets. When humans started to evolve, souls decided to life on this planet and help the evolution of humans. But all of us have lived prior lives. If you are alive now, you have had a prior life. When we channel, we do an awful lot of work talking about prior lives and telling people what their prior lives consisted of. I know an awful lot about my prior lives. Like, I know that in one of my immediate prior lives, I was a Confederate soldier that fought at Gettysburg. I was born in Hershey, Pennsylvania, about an hour from Gettysburg. All my life, all I ever wanted to do was go to the battlefield. I asked my parents on weekends, I wanted them to take me there. One of my first dates with Connie was I actually took her out on the battlefield and showed it to her. And I've just always been attracted. Well, the reason was that I fought there. Once I learned to channel and speak with some of the spirits, I found out that I was actually a Confederate captain, fought in the 31st Virginia Regiment, fought on Culp's Hill 2nd and 3rd Day. So once I learned this information, I started going out onto the battlefield to the spot where I fought, and I took a ghost box out with me, and I actually found that I could communicate with the souls that I fought with on the battlefield.
Oh my God.
Last year, I took 4 people out with me with the ghost box, and we went up to where I was told I fought, and I turned on the ghost box, and I said, "Fellas, do you recognize me?" And over the ghost box, everybody heard a voice say, "Yes, sir, Captain."
Oh my God. Really?
Oh, I have witnesses to it, yeah.
Wow.
And we went on, and I had a conversation with the guys that I fought with out there.
Oh my God, that's wow. That's
No,
crazy.
I have
That's
witnesses
crazy.
to it. I can do it most any time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I was at Labor Day, Connie, and I closed the store, and we went out, and I walked up, I took her up to the spot where I was, and I was able to, I'm at a point now that I can mentally communicate with them.
So you could do that right now?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right now, you could communicate with an alien.
Not with an alien.
With
Mu has moved on. I could reach another soul. I'm sure my guides could bring me another soul.
All right.
That was an alien in prior.
All right. So let's finish up this, and then I want you to do that. Would you do that?
No, I can't. I don't have the channeling board set up or anything.
Oh,
so.
You need the board to do that. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it acts like an antenna.
Oh, okay. I didn't know you needed the board. Oh, okay.
Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do. Last time I was out on the battlefield, I could communicate mentally with the guys.
Oh, darn. Oh, you've got to come back. We got to do that board. And I interrupted you. I'm sorry. You want to finish what you were saying?
No, I'm just saying we were out there on Labor Day, and I mentally asked the question to them. I said, "Why are you guys still here?" And the answer came back, "Because there's still those Yankees over there. So we can't leave until they leave." And then, and then one of them told me, they said, "Captain, you better keep your head down. They're still shooting over there."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Now,
I'll take you one step further
okay.
for something to be amazed about. We had the store for sale now for a year and a half. We're trying to sell the store so we can go home. Well, when I had the 4 people out there, over the ghost box, we heard one of them yell, "Quitter," and the other one yelled, "Why are you leaving us?" Because they knew we had the store for sale. Can you imagine that?
Wow. Did you sell your store?
No, we still have it for sale. Would you like to buy it?
Oh.
I give you a good deal. All the ghosts you ever wanted.
No, honey, I live in California.
Okay, so it's a tough commute. So.
Oh, wow, Barry. It's crazy. No, but, so how, okay, so what okay,
I got you stuttering.
Yeah, I know, you always do. So when we die,
yes,
what happens to us?
When you die, your soul immediately leaves your body, and your soul will then, you can stay earthbound or you can move on over to the other side.
Okay, wait a minute. When we die, who are we meeting up with?
Well, it'll depend. You'll meet your family. Your family will be there to greet you. You may have people, your friends will be there. My wife's father is 96, fought in World War II, and he's in very bad physical condition right now. And when we and he was in the Third Army in Europe. And when we channeled with General Patton promised me that he would be there to meet him when Connie's dad passes. So you'll have people from your life. It's hard to tell who will be there. If you're very advanced, you'll have advanced spirits meet you. For instance, I asked when we were channeling Jesus one night, I asked him who met him when he passed to the other side, and he told me that Abraham was there and met him. So it's it all depends what level you are, who meets you.
Barry, oh gosh, I guess it was my last show. I've had people talk about near-death experience and when they died. Mm-hmm. One particular guest said that when they pass on, they saw the white bright light. It met them and they saw their loved ones on the other side. Then this last guest I had last show, he said that when he had a near-death experience, he actually died, he saw nothing but darkness, and all he saw was blackness. And then when he came back, evidently, he brought back with him some dark entities that invaded his life until he got to be a certain age and was no longer afraid of them.
Well, it could have been. I haven't heard that type of a story, but depending on how you've lived your life, there is a lower realm. There is no hell, but there is a lower realm in heaven, a place of darkness and nothingness where they send you. And it could possibly be that they showed him that as a learning point for him.
I don't think you got the hint, if that's true.
Well, it could have, depending how he was living his life, that may have been a not too subtle hint.
Ooh, all right. So, does that? Okay, so then, do we pay the price when we die?
Your soul is judged. Your guides and your family actually will judge you, and you'll judge yourself. And depends if you lived a good life, and if you loved others and did good things, then your soul will advance to one of the realms on the other side. There are 7 realms over in heaven, and God is in the 7th, and the people closest to him are in that 7th level. Your guides will decide whether you can, what level you'll be assigned to. If you lived a life of evil and have a bunch of unforgivable sins, you'll be sent to the lower level where your soul will actually contemplate what it's done, decide what it's going to do to make up to those that it hurt, and at some point they'll allow you to come back, and they will give you a life plan where your karma will pay back for the things that you've done in that bad lifetime.
Mm-hmm. Well,
and it's possible, for instance, somebody like a Hitler could have millions of bad lifetimes to live when they finally let him out of the lower level.
Oh, yeah. I always wondered about that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's how it works.
Okay.
And God is the one that decides when you get out of that level. For instance, in one of our channeling sessions, we asked what happened to the Pharisees that were responsible for the death of Jesus. And they said that they were dispatched to the lower level. And I asked if they were still there, and they said yes, and God will decide when they get out. So that's a long time.
Now, you mentioned God and aliens, and
Mm-hmm.
each planet has their own God?
No. There's each galaxy has its own God.
Okay, so can you explain that to us?
Well, there's apparently a hierarchy of gods on the other side. I have a chapter in the universe book that's entitled "Universality of God," where I try to explain this. But our God is the God of our galaxy and is on all of the intelligent planets in our galaxy. Other galaxies have different gods and different rules. Our God is very powerful and is in charge of one of the larger galaxies.
Okay, now we have each religion has their God. Just like the Catholics, we believe in Jesus Christ and all that.
Mm-hmm.
But there are those that believe that the universe is their God. So, what is it?
You are judged upon how you live your life. You're not judged upon the God that you believe in. If you live a life of love and a good life, then when you get to the other side, they will explain it to you how things work. But just for instance, Buddhists live good lives. So they will progress in heaven just like a Christian that lives a good life and believes in God. So it's not, you're allowed to believe in any deity that you want. You're judged on how you lived your life.
Okay. Okay, so if you believe that that the universe is your God, then that's okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
as long as you live a good life. If you believe that and go out and kill people and rob from them, you got a problem when you get to the other side. You live a good life, show love towards others, then you will be judged by the life that you live, and you will pass on and you will advance.
Okay. Very interesting. About now, you do channel God once a week, don't you? On your Facebook
we
page.
We channeled Jesus last night, and Jesus was God incarnate. So yes, we do. We did it on Facebook Live. If anybody wants to see any of our sessions, they can go to my YouTube channel. It's under my name, Barry Strohm. We post every channeling session that we do now, so that others can watch and judge for yourself. If you, when you see the content and everything, you can believe or not believe.
Yeah. What else do you want to tell us about the universe and aliens?
Well, if I told you everything, nobody would buy the book.
All right, some juicy thing then. Something good.
How they travel.
Yeah.
There are can travel in different ways. They can use wormholes to travel through. And wormholes are a reality. In 1945, the flight of torpedo bombers down in Miami that disappeared, they had 5 planes with people on. Those planes actually got caught in a wormhole, and it transported them out into the ocean where they ran out of gas. So that's what happened to them. If anybody can get over having a vehicle out there the size of the United States, I would say that would be a good trick, because it took me a while to get over that one.
Wow. So these the disappearances in the Bermuda Triangle, what's happening with those?
Well, I also wrote a chapter about that in my conspiracy book. The Bermuda Triangle has ley lines where there's a lot of energy intersection down there, and you get a lot of energy vortexes, and you get a lot of wormholes down because of these natural energy lines. Sometimes these energy vortexes form and ships get caught into them. That's what happened to a bunch of the mystery ships.
Mm-hmm.
The torpedo bombers got caught in a wormhole. That's what happened to them. So there's a lot of naturally occurring energy things. And it's not just the Bermuda Triangle. There's one called the Dragon Triangle in Japan, and there's one up in near Alaska, in the Bay of Alaska. And they have a lot of mysterious disappearances in all of these places, but it's because of natural energies that intersect.
What about, I'm not sure if I asked you about this, but you may have done a channeling on it, about all these disappearances that are happening in the national forests. And mostly it happens in Yosemite up here in California.
We're told that actually that's not an alien situation, that a lot of that is just simple kidnappings and sex trafficking.
But there's a case, Barry, there is a case where this girl went on a horseback ride with her father, and in Yosemite, and they came to this camp, and they got off their horses to relax and have something to drink and socialize with this group that was there. And the daughter had her camera, and she walked over toward the water, and there was an old man. There was a man sitting on the rock. And she talked to him, and then she excused herself, and she said, "I'm going to go down by the water and take some pictures." Well, the father came looking for the daughter, and she completely disappeared. And he talked to the man that was sitting there. He said she took her camera, she went down to the water to take some pictures, and that was the last I've seen of her. And the only thing they found was her camera by the water. She completely disappeared.
Well, it is possible to get into one of these. Maybe it was a small wormhole that she got into. You can time travel through these things, and I'll give you something else that's going to shake you up a bit. Bigfoot is multi-dimensional.
I figured that.
That's how they disappear. They just go back into that other dimension.
Yeah, I figured.
Perhaps she stumbled into one of those dimensions. They call them a squiggle in time, and perhaps she stumbled into one of these dimensional changes, and away she went. So there's a lot of things can take place out there that we just simply can't explain.
But Bigfoot is not an alien, or is he an alien?
Oh no,
he's not an alien, but he just goes into
He's a separate species. He's just multi-dimensional. He fears humans, and when he sees one, they just pop back into that other dimension. If something happens to one, they drag him through the door into the other dimension.
Right. Oh, yeah, because they've been looking for Bigfoot for years. There's never been any bodies. They find footprints, but there's no bodies. And from what I understand, they travel in packs. They travel with their family. And so what happens to the old ones when they get sick and die? You never find a body, ever.
No, they take them to the other dimension, so their bodies aren't found.
Wow, that's crazy. I
Well,
love it.
there's a lot crazy. When you've written 2 books about aliens, you find out just how much crazy stuff there is out there.
Barry, wow. I yeah, I want to do the channeling with how. Okay, listen. Have you ever tried to channel a celebrity that has passed on, like Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, or any of those?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. We had Elvis come in for us the other week. We've had Buddy Holly.
Now there's a conspiracy with Buddy Holly's death, I understand.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. He was killed.
No.
That wasn't an accident.
Well, didn't he get killed in a plane crash?
Yeah, they sabotaged the airplane.
No way.
Oh yeah, that was back when rock and roll was beginning, and the mob was trying to muscle in on the proceeds, and Holly was not having a part of it, so they offed him.
Oh my God! No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I want to do a show on conspiracies with you.
Well, I started writing a book on unsolved crimes. We actually did a couple crimes. We did the Jack the Ripper. They gave me his name. We did D.B. Cooper. A couple famous crimes, and then they backed me off of it because they were afraid that I was dealing with dark energies with it. They didn't want me to do anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
But we worked on a couple crimes. They were very interesting.
Could we ever do a show with you and your board and talk about these unsolved murders, and would you be able to get the information off your board?
Well, they'll probably back me off of it because you're asking to work with some pretty dark energies with some of these crimes. I tried to solve the Black Dahlia crime and they wouldn't even talk about it.
Oh, yeah. I would love to know about that.
Yeah, we will not be able to do that one for sure.
Well, the son wrote a book and said his father was the one that was the killer. He was pretty positive it was his father.
I don't know. They wouldn't give me answers for that one. Some of the other ones I have answers for, but not that one.
Oh, wow. Gee, I wish off my head I knew about. I do shows on unsolved murders, and I can't think of anything except for the Black Dahlia offhand.
Yeah, we've tried to solve some crimes, and we've actually had a little bit of luck with it, but something I really don't want to get into.
What about when you got the information on Jack Kennedy? Did you ever do anything with that information?
Yeah, I just wrote the chapter. He told us that Lyndon Johnson was behind it, and about a year after I wrote the chapter, there was another book came out that was based on the fact that Johnson was behind the assassination.
Yes, I understand that's the case. I had read that myself.
Yeah, they told me an interesting fact about Johnson. They said he committed suicide, but they kept it a secret.
He did?
That's what they said.
Now, when you were getting this information on the conspiracy, was it an alien you were in contact or another spirit guide?
Well, it would either be a spirit or the spirit of the person that lived it. In the case with Kennedy, we actually channeled Jack Kennedy.
So okay, when you ask a question, you think of something that you want to ask. Mm-hmm. Do you try then and to get the person that it happened to? That's who you're trying to channel?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do for the whole conspiracy book. What I'll do is I will pray for that presence a couple nights before we get into the session so that the guides know who I'm looking for, and generally they'll bring him in for me.
Wow, what about Marilyn Monroe?
Never did her, but we did talk to Kennedy about her.
Okay. What did he say?
Well, he admitted it was his girlfriend, but they also said that she was not murdered.
What did she commit suicide?
Overdose.
Overdose. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay, so we have some questions for you. Let's see. Guys, give Royce your questions. All right, so X Group Home Kid question has heard anything about naturally occurring electronic intelligence on Earth?
Say that again.
Okay, he says has heard anything about, I guess, have you heard anything about naturally occurring electronic intelligence on Earth?
No. No, know anything about that. Never asked.
All right, from Kathy Gill. What do ET think of artificial intelligence, and are they at all threatened by humans creating them?
Extraterrestrials do not fear anything that humans can do. They are so advanced,
Okay. And then David Lucanedo, aliens know God. We already talked about that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yes. There are actually planets out there that has no evil.
Really?
That follow the commands of God, yes.
Oh, okay, Barry. How did
Yes.
so each planet, like one planet you said they breathe nitrogen.
Mm-hmm.
What about the other planets that these aliens live on?
Everything's different. Some aliens are simply light beings that don't even breathe the oxygen.
They don't breathe?
No, they're light figures. They don't need anything to breathe.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. Well, then, what do they eat? How do they exist? Do they need nutrients? Do they need to eat? Do they go to the bathroom? Do they take showers? Do they drink liquids?
Moo had to eat, but they simply absorbed minerals.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, he didn't eat like we eat. They did somehow or other. He absorbed the minerals, and I never asked him about his toilet procedures.
Oh, I would love to know. How do they eliminate anything? Do they have hearing, or is it all telepathy?
It's combination. Some can hear, some's all mental. They can communicate with us mentally.
And how do they reproduce? Is it like a human, or is it different, or?
I did not get into that.
Oh my God, we want to know. Those are okay. You have to ask, because that would be really interesting. I want to know if they go to the bathroom, do they take showers, and how they and let's see, what else? Do they sleep?
Some don't. No.
They don't sleep?
No.
Really? Okay. Well,
everything. They tell us things. There are things out there that we are absolutely cannot understand, that we cannot imagine. There are emotions we've never felt that we can't understand. There's an incredible amount of stuff. That's why you have to reincarnate on these other planets, to learn all these things that we don't understand.
Okay.
You can only learn so much as a human.
Well, now, when you got Moo,
Mm-hmm.
I thought your book said that Moo came because you asked Moo to come.
Well, actually, the guides brought him to me because I was asking alien questions.
Okay.
As it turned out, Moo was actually a member of our soul family, and he was a guide, but he kept all that a secret from us when we were talking to him.
All right. Now, I saw posting somewhere. I don't know if it was I think it may have been a video, but I didn't watch it. How you can get an alien to communicate with you. They stand outside and they stand in a circle and they try to get aliens to communicate with them. Is that possible?
Maybe with enough marijuana.
Oh.
go through all that crap. Believe me, if they want to communicate, they communicate.
So you could just sit here in your office and just say, hey, I want you to communicate. I want to communicate with an alien.
I can communicate with the spirit of an alien.
The spirit of an alien. Okay. Now, can you, if you are able to communicate, okay, what if you had a specific request? And do they, okay, so when you're asking to communicate with a spirit of an alien, do they hear you?
Yes.
They
hear
you.
I just speak, and when I said, one night I'm communicating, and he actually described the clothes I had on. He's sitting there watching me. And he said, "Man, that's a funny look you have on your face." I went, "Okay."
But see, Barry, you have a gift. You're able to do that. You said that this gift you had, and you didn't realize you had it. And so there are others out there that would like to communicate with a spirit, but if they don't have those gifts like you have, how's that going to happen?
Well, I think everybody has a gift. You're born with it, and then as you grow up, you block those thoughts. You start opening your mind, start trying to do these things, start trying to communicate, learn how to meditate, learn how to communicate with your own guide, and then you can advance off of it. Maybe try a channeling board. The channeling board's a great tool for communicating. Just make sure you do it properly. If you go onto my website, spiritspredict.com, I have a whole page dedicated to board channeling. You can see the prayer we use, the instructions. But, there's nothing to be afraid of. People freak out when you mention board channeling. But it's no different. You open a channel. When you get a ghost box out, you open a channel.
Yes, and
when I call mentally on a spirit, I open a channel. So it's no different. You have to be protected. Your protection is your faith in God. I always say, if you're an atheist, you have no business doing paranormal investigations.
And it's nothing like a Ouija board. Somebody had asked about the channeling board. It's completely different from a Ouija board.
Yeah, it's a completely different configuration. And we even have the prayer taped to the back of the board. But we're also keep in mind, Connie and I are extremely well protected from on the other side.
Have you ever, when you're doing your channeling, have you ever been in contact with a really bad negative spirit?
The very first lesson we were ever given, the guides came through and said, "You never ever invite evil. Do not ever do it." And we have never done it, and we never will do it. Now, we have had some negatives try to come through, but I can feel the energy, and we just simply cut it off by taking our finger off the glass.
Oh.
And if I feel uncomfortable, I'll say a quick prayer, and that'll be the end of it.
Really? Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's lucky.
I told you we have friends in high places.
Wow. All right, we have some more questions for you, Barry. Beat 3 Airspace. Question, Barry, have your contacts told you when they will allow humans to know they exist?
Yeah, we're hoping before 2020. That's what Mood told us.
Oh, Aaron Brody wants to know, what's the origin of shadow people?
Shadow figures are just simply a form of earthbound spirits. I see them all the time in here. They're friendly. There's nothing.
But
it's just another form. I photographed them. I got a video of them. It's no different. It's just a form. They could be a full-bodied apparition, half-body shadow figure, or they got choice of forms that they want to come to.
But Barry, I've done a show on shadow people, and these shadow people that these people have come in contact with are really evil entities.
Well, there are evil entities, and evil entities can be shadow people, just like good entities can be shadow people. So some shadow figures can be evil, absolutely.
Okay, yeah. All right, and Jordan Perkins, question, what do you think happened to the missing Malaysia Flight 370?
I actually write about that in my conspiracy book. There's a chapter on it.
Okay.
It's in Spirit Speak, Conspiracies and Mysteries.
Okay, let's see. Where's that book?
Available on Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
All right, let me see. I have your books here. It's which one is it?
And what they told me, actually, quite a bit of it has come true already.
Oh, really? Okay, which one is it? Spirit Speak or Aliens Among Us, or which one is it?
No, that one is in the conspiracy books.
Oh.
Spirit Speak of Conspiracies and Mysteries.
Okay, I got it. I'm showing it to them right now. Okay, got it. Let me go back.
Yeah, no, it's let's just say aliens were involved, and they told me that there would be parts of the airplane would be seated that would turn up on a deserted place, and parts of the airplane wound up on an island down in the Indian Ocean.
Right, but that was all they ever found of it.
Yeah, that's it.
So what did the aliens want with this ship, with the aircraft?
Well, they didn't actually. It was kind of a screw up.
Did they want the people?
Huh?
Did they want the people?
No. There was an accident involved with it.
Oh. Okay. Let's see. Misty Dawn. What about Jack? She wants to know about Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper. They actually gave me his name, and it's not any of the ones that are suspected. He was a butcher, a common guy, and the police actually called him in and interviewed him. And the guy decided it was time to get out of town, so he fled to France, and that's why the kill spree stopped.
Okay. All right, we have another question. Anita Ackerman. Whoops. Hold on. Anita Ackerman. Have aliens made a deal with the government to terraform the Earth in exchange for tech?
What? They give us tech. If they can cross the Milky Way in the same time it takes me to go to Salt Lake, they don't need our technology. They're helping us.
Okay.
We have absolutely nothing that they want.
All right, Wendy McKenzie, do they know about a coming pole shift of Earth? There
will be a pole shift, but not for a couple hundred years.
Okay, and what, Tina Alexander, are there bad aliens?
There are aliens that break the rules, but they're not supposed to be any bad aliens.
All right, Maggie Murray, what happened to Natalie Wood?
The boat captain killed her.
Yeah, I think they're, oh God, I think they reopened that case too.
They have. We did a whole thing on Natalie Wood.
Well, they reopened the case, and weren't they interviewing the captain?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. That's who they should interview.
I don't know what happened, what the outcome was. All right. Lynn Flygirl, why do they place implants in people?
So that they can track them and record what is going on with the individual. Might be the individual has an illness that they want to track, or they're tracking devices.
You know what? We talked about this before the show started. Oh, no, I don't want to talk about it because I don't think you want to. Never mind. You know where I'm going with that. All right. So I guess that's the end of the questions. Yes. Oh, Tammy Heitzman wants you to channel Prince. Ever channel Prince?
No, not Prince.
What about Diana, Princess Diana?
I think I have that in the conspiracy book.
Okay.
She was killed. It wasn't an accident.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Was she pregnant?
No.
Okay. Wow. Any more questions? Because it's almost an hour and a half now. We're over our time, guys. Barry, I always love having you on the show, and like I said, I want to do several other shows with you. I'm dying to do a conspiracy show, and I'm dying to do the channeling, the live channeling.
Well, don't die, or I'll have to talk to you on the channeling board.
Well, you can bring me back to life.
We can have you speak. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, Barry, it was so awesome. So I have all the books here that they can purchase. Are they all on? They're all on Amazon, aren't they?
Yep, everything's on Amazon. Everything's on Barnes and Noble. Just put my name in, and you'll see the books. You can buy, if you want them autographed, you can buy them off my websites. My new main website now is wordsofgodthenandnow.com, and that's the same name as my Facebook group. So we got a lot going on.
Yeah, I have the website up, spiritspredict.com, also for them. Oh, hey, you know what? We got 2 more questions. Hold on, I want to get them answered. All right. Okay. So I have nothing. Okay, Tammy Heitzman. If we have nothing they want, then why do they care to communicate with us?
Because they want us to evolve. It's the same as keeping in mind that they have the same soul energies that we have. They work under this. They worship the same God that we do. God has given us free will and ego, and He wants to see if humans have the ability to evolve. We talked about this last night on our channeling session with him.
Let's see, Jordan Perkins. What is really going on at the Denver airport? There's something going on over there.
Yeah, I don't think anything. we never wrote about it. I think I approached it one night, and there wasn't anything going on, so we didn't pursue it.
Okay. I had a question I wanted to ask you. Shoot, what was it? Oh, okay. So, all right, but I just want to ask you one more thing about when we die. Now, I had a guest one time. I've had several guests that have said this, that when we die, that we can do the same thing that we did as when we were here on Earth alive. That we could sing, we could cook, we could do things like that, do our hobbies or whatever. And I said, well, what if I wanted to see Dean Martin or Elvis Presley or somebody? And they said that, well, yeah, you can go see them, you can talk with them. Is that true?
Yeah. It's pretty much heaven is an indescribable place.
Okay, but what do we look like? Are we just like balls of light that float around, or do we look human?
No, you have a human form. Generally, your human form is like you were in your mid-30s.
Why? Why mid-30s?
Would you like it to be in your mid-80s?
No.
There's your answer.
But why the 30s? Why did they pick that? Why not 15 or 20?
You can choose to stay a child if you wish. But many people, when they see family members, people that have these near-death experiences, when they come back, they'll see a family member and don't recognize them because they've seen them as they were as a young person. For instance, a child that has a near-death experience might see a grandfather, but the grandfather is in the form of when he was in his 30s. So quite often they don't recognize him until they come back and see a photograph of their grandfather when he was young. So, very interesting.
There was a movie called The Others with Nicole Kidman, where they were in this old mansion in England, I guess it was, and they were living their life with she was living her life with the 2 kids. They had a maid. They were having their dinners and just like normal life. And then the kids were seeing these ghosts, and they were telling the mother that there's other people here. And the bottom line is that the ghosts were us, and they were the ghosts. We were alive, and the ghosts were actually Nicole Kidman and her family. Is that how it's like? Like when we die, and and the people that you bought the house from were in love with their home and they couldn't bear to ever leave their home. Would you share their existence still with them in your house?
Well, spirits can remain, and you can't stop them, really. We have this building that I'm in used to be a shoe factory, dates to 1877. We have channeled with 8 different spirits that worked here when it was a shoe factory. They come back because they were like a family and they enjoy being here. So the spirits come back and do a reunion.
All right, are they still working on shoes when they come back?
No, they just kind of chilling out. Often when I'm doing radio shows, I got a couple standing here watching the show right now.
Really?
Oh yeah.
So we can still cook. Can you still cook for your family that's on the other side? Can you make like meatballs and spaghetti and have glasses of wine? Can you do all that?
Yeah.
You
well,
can?
they even told us there's beer on the other side.
Really?
Yeah.
And okay, so on the other side, of course, celebrities aren't like they were here when they were alive on Earth. So if you wanted to just say you want to talk to one of them, and they'll talk to you with no problem?
I guess, yeah.
Okay, but what if they
I mean, they
reincarnate?
talk to me with no problem.
But what if they reincarnated?
Well, then you can't talk to them, no.
Okay.
Once they reincarnate, you can't contact them.
So then, okay, that makes sense. That's right. Okay. How many of the spirits, do you think most people reincarnate instead of staying up there and hopefully in heaven?
Well, you have a choice. You have free will in heaven as you have here on earth. Some people would just like it where they are and don't want to go through this again. When we channeled with Ulysses Grant, he's coming. He's preparing to reincarnate, but his wife said that Julia said that she is never coming back. She had enough of it.
Really?
So she's happy with her position over there. You don't have to come back if you don't want to.
All right. So is it true that before we're born, we pick our family, we pick our parents?
That is correct. Yes.
Why? Why is that?
Why not?
But why? I mean,
Well, you gotta have
but
parents.
wait a minute, Barry. Some of these,
you lay out a life plan, and these parents are capable of leading you through this life plan.
but there are some of those that pick their family aren't very good parents.
Well, they need to learn that experience of having a lifetime with bad parents. These are all experiences you have to learn. Believe it or not, you even have to live a lifetime as a non-believer in God so that your soul knows what it's like not to believe in God.
And so what if you live your whole life and you don't believe in God? Then what?
Well, if you lead a good life, you're not penalized for it.
Okay. Oh, gosh. Do we have more questions? Oh, guys, stop. No more. Let's see. I think I asked that one. Okay, I think I asked those. Okay. Wow. Oh, Barry. Oh, Barry, Barry, Barry. Okay, I will be in touch with you. I'm going to do several shows with Barry next year. We're coming down to the end, guys. But let's thank Barry so much for being on the show. It was such a pleasure to have you. I just love having you on the show. Now, guys, this is the second show I've done with Barry. I can post, I can add the other show at the bottom of this one that I aired with Barry a couple of months ago, I guess. Well, it wasn't a couple of months ago. I can't remember the date.
Yeah, it's probably about 6 months ago now.
Yeah. So, Barry, thanks so much for being on the show. Always a pleasure to have you. Keep writing those books so I can keep having you on.
Yeah, well, you may not be able to talk about the next one.
Why? What's the next one on?
It's called Channeling the Life of Jesus.
Well, you know what? I know I talked to you about that, and it's something I stay away from religion and politics on my shows, but I think I'm gonna bite the bullet and do a show on that. I've never done one, and so yeah, We will do a show on that, Barry. Okay?
Okay, whatever you want.
Absolutely. All right, guys, you know where to get his books. Barry is awesome. Please go to Amazon.com or just type in Barry's name. He's all over the web. Barry Strohm. And he's also on Facebook. Barry Strom's on Facebook, so touch bases with him on Facebook as well. And he has a YouTube channel. It's Barry Strohm on YouTube. And he has all those channeling videos on there, which I'm going to start watching myself. And please subscribe to his channel as well. Okay? So Barry, oh my gosh, Barry, thank you so much for being on the show. It was such a pleasure to have you. Till we talk again, okay?
Okay, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, Barry. Good night.
Good night.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I hope you enjoyed that. I did. I love getting the information on celebrities and conspiracies. I love it. So, everybody, let's thank our mods. I know Royce Hinman was here. Royce Hinman and Crystal Triplet and Unique Annie were supposed to be in there tonight. Were they there tonight? Without our mods, guys, we would not have the chat room that we have. And thanks everyone for being here. We had a really nice crowd tonight. And Kathy Gill, thank you so much. And Aaron Brody, thank you so much for the super chat money. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's going to come where I'm going to be forced into... what's Barry want? Oh. Yeah, Barry, what? What's up?
Your cat wants me to say a prayer to heal it.
Oh, hold on, guys. Hold on for 1 second. Can I get her?
Yeah, get her.
Oh, my God. Don't make... I'm going to cry. Where is she? Hold on. My cat's sick. Hold on. Here, Moo. Here, Barry, let me put the, hold on. I don't know why they can't see that. Let me put the, oh, hold on, honey. Hold on. I don't want her to, oh, shit. Hold on. Damn it. All right, hold on. Hold on, honey. Hold on. Oh, God, hold on, guys. I just hung up on him. Oh, no. It's okay. It's okay. She's sick. My poor baby is sick, one of them. All right, hold on. Damn it. All right, all right, hold on. All right, let me call him back. Hold on. Oh, sorry, Barry.
That's right.
I had her in my hands. She's been on medication for the last 2 weeks, and I finally got medicine for her eye. What's wrong with her?
I don't know, but she said I could hear in my head she wants me to pray for her.
Is she gonna die?
I don't think so. I think we can help her.
What can I do for her?
Well, just let me say this prayer for her, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay. Should I just keep doing what I'm doing, giving her the medication?
Yeah, just let me say the prayer, and then we'll...
Oh. All right. So can I contact you? Let me know, okay?
I'm going to do it right now.
Okay.
Right now. My Father, I know that the pets are also your children, so that I ask you, would you please bless and heal Noreen's pet? God, please heal this cat for her. Amen.
Thank you. Thanks, Barry.
Okay?
Yeah, thank you so much. I'll be in touch with you. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Okay, I didn't expect that, but Barry Barry talks to animals too, so I hope that helps. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Let me do some shout outs. Okay, hold on. Anyway, I don't know. Let's see, Royce. Oh, that's right. Okay, all three were in the chat room tonight. My mods, love my mods. Royce and Unique Annie and Crystal, thank you so much. Everybody, please give a thanks to our mods. Also, it's Crystal's birthday this weekend. So, Crystal, happy birthday, honey. Wish Crystal a happy birthday. Oh God, I'm losing track of what I wanted to say. Oh God, I got some more super chat money. I don't know who this is. Thank you so much, everybody, for the super chat money. And everyone, please send your positive thoughts to Royce, please. We need to keep Royce healthy, and he needs your prayers, okay? All right, so let me do some shout outs, guys, okay? All right, hold on. Somebody else just donated some money, but I can't get the name. I don't know who it is. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. All right, let's do some shout outs. Hold on. Let's see. How do I... Okay, let's see. All right. Unique Annie, Royce Hinman, Crystal Triplet, Ashton Kushner, Aaron Brody, Anita Ackerman, Nancy, Lisa Johnson, Elaine Michael, Jeff Castro, Michael Kane. Hi, Michael. Lisa Marie. Oh, thank you so much, Lisa Marie, for another super chat money. Thank you so much. Crystal Logan, B3 Airspace, Chippa Terry, Tammy Heitzman. Who else? I know we had way over 100 people, 120 people tonight. Jeff Castro. Who else wants shout outs? Teresa McCoy. Justin Elias. Hi, honey. Hi, Justin. Justin is going to have a transplant. Please, everybody, send positive prayers, thoughts to Justin. Please. Love you, Justin. Nellie Moen. Jordan Perkins. Thank you, Jordan. Love you, too. Justin Moffat. Shelty Shangri-La. No way, Michael. Linda Potter? Oh my God, I gotta say hi to her. I gotta talk to her. No way. Rajas. Oh, wait a minute. Lost it. Oh God, what happened? Oh, I lost the name. Rajas something. Rajasekar Babu Korapati. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I butchered your name, but that's the best I can do. Rajasekar Babu Korapati. Kathy Gill. Justin, I love you too. Blake Murray. Anybody else want to shout out? Anybody else? Yes, thanks, Lisa Marie. Pray for Justin and pray for Royce. Okay, let's see. Guess what? I got my calendar. Happy birthday to Crystal. Happy birthday to you. All right, so the next show is going to be October 11th, and it's Paul Tate. Well, guess what? I love you too, Michael. Oh, Carl White. Oh, God. Oh, I forgot. Shout outs also to Carl White, Anvil Hammer, Graham Crosby, and Jane Lafferty. I forgot about them. Yay, Carl, you're there. Anyway, so so this coming Saturday, we got another big barbecue. We got over 50 people coming from the USS Hornet. It's the annual barbecue. So I'm not going to have a show next week, but and it's World Animal Day on Thursday, October 4th. But anyway, this Paul Tate, he did a documentary on shadow people. And this documentary was made up of stories from people that had horrible experiences with shadow people. And so he contacted me and wanted to come on the show. So that's what the show's going to be on, the documentary on shadow people. And then on October 25th, Mark Foltz is coming back, and he wrote a book on funeral parlors, the horrors of a funeral parlor and the things that go on. So that sounds pretty interesting. So, so anyway, so that's what's happening for October. And on November 8th, Kirk Stokes is coming on the show. He's done videos, documentation on Bigfoot. And he has some amazing videos and evidence on Bigfoot. So that he's going to be on November 8th. And then on November 15th, Julie Griffin, she does ghost photography. Wait till you see her pictures. Oh my God, it's crazy. I've seen some of them. So she's going to be on the show. Thank you, Carl White. I'm thinking of you as well. And so that's what I have so far. I have some shows for December, but I didn't write the topic down, so I can't say what they are. All right, everybody, thank Aaron Brody. Yeah, glad you like the shadow people. I can never get tired of shadow people. So, where's my kitties? Hi guys. God, I've got 5 of them sitting right by me on my feet here. Everybody, so I'm going to go now, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, okay? Thank you so much for being here, and love you guys. Thank you so much. Love my mods, Unique Annie, Royce, and Crystal. Love you guys. Thank you so much for being here every week with me and helping me out with the chat room. X Group Home Kid, good night. Thank you for being here. Anyway, group hug to everybody. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you on October 11th, okay? Come back and join us. So with that, I'm going to say good night. Don't forget to check out Barry Strohm. He's very amazing. He's amazing. E-San. Hello. All right, so guys, I'm going to go now. I love you guys. And have a great weekend and be safe. Michael Hetzer. Be safe, okay? Love you guys. Good night.